So you're interested in the top reasons not to move to Nashville. Well, in this video, we're going to get brutally honest and talk about it through the eyes of some locals. It all starts right now. Hey, if this is your first time to our channel, Where to Live Nashville is all about life in Middle Tennessee. So we talk about the places to live, the neighborhoods, what it's like here in Middle Tennessee. So if this kind of information is interesting to you, be sure to subscribe and follow along with us and check out our other videos. And don't forget to tap the bell for notifications. Hey, my name is Clay with the Kelton Group. I've got my business partner Tucker with me today, and we are going to talk all about life in Nashville and reasons you might not want to move here. We are a real estate team, and so we get calls and texts every single day from people just like you about moving to Nashville, and we love it. We're real estate agents, and so we are happy to answer any questions you have. Our goal is, no matter if you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, to help you connect all the dots so you can make that right move. With that, let's get into the video. All right, I've got my partner Tucker here today, and we're going to talk about top reasons not to move to Nashville. Tucker, what is the number one reason on our list?
Oh, it's got to be the humidity. It's hot, you're going to sweat, and it takes some getting used to, especially if you're from a colder climate or you're from a dry climate. There's going to be some adjustment.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, during certain times of the year, there's no getting away from it. But I personally struggle because I just sweat a lot. So summertime, peak summertime, I'm like, find me a body of water to go jump in, and that's how I keep my sanity. But yeah, the summer times, they do get hot. If you're coming from the West Coast or even the Midwest, you may not be used to the kind of humidity that we get here. But don't you agree? The good news is it's not all year long. It's certainly a peak season for it. And to me, it's a great excuse to get away, to go to the lake or go on a vacation and find somewhere with lower humidity. So that is, kind of an important thing if you've not spent much time in Middle Tennessee to consider. So,
and I appreciate you saying that, a large body of water. Favorite things to do on the weekend, especially if you're in Nashville. A lot of people go out to Center Hill Lake. That's where they're gonna ski and wakeboard and really just kind of get away and cool off and get some sun.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We do have lakes. We have 2 lakes within 30 minutes of downtown Nashville. And then we have multiple other lakes, probably 2 to 3 within about an hour and a half. So you will find that's a popular choice for Nashvillians, is to kind of make that escape to the lake with a pretty easy drive, truly. All right, number 2 on our list, allergies. Tucker, do you have allergies like I do?
Doesn't everybody? Yes. And when we talk to people that relocate, that's usually one of the first things that usually get a follow-up call about is what's going on. You can go see an allergist. Luckily, it's not forever. There's the time of the year in the spring when the pollen really starts to fall. We do change our air filters a little bit more often, and about every other year we do pressure wash our house, just kind of remove all the pollen, just to make life a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I grew up in Nashville, and I never realized it wasn't a problem for me. But I think the older you get in life, I think allergies can become worse. And so I got to the point where I really just started I take Zyrtec, and but the thing is, I take it year round, just every day. So I built a habit of it, and I don't really suffer from allergies like I did before I took it. And I'm not a doctor, so definitely check with your doctor, figure out what's right for you. Man, it has made a world of difference. And I know a bunch of people here locally, you take a medicine for it. There's certainly peak seasons for certain things like ragweed or pollen, but it's not all year round. But that is a negative, that we're in we're in a little bit of a bowl, topography wise. And so I think we're the worst state in the US for allergies.
We are.
But to me, it's not debilitating. It's kind of one of those things you take a medicine for and you move on with life. All right, that takes us to number 3 on our list of reasons not to move to Nashville.
Traffic.
That's traffic, man. What are your thoughts on traffic? How do you deal with the traffic here?
Once you pick out which part of town you're going to be in, you're going to figure out that there's all these other ways to really get around Nashville to get where you need to go. And that's going to be a pretty big benefit.
Yeah, that's exactly it, man. And I think it's, with the advent of the work from home that has just blown up that whole way that we work, there's, you don't necessarily have to get in traffic depending on, where you do work. But if you're going to work downtown Nashville, then, when we're helping customers relocate here, that's one of the main questions we want to know is where are you going to be working? Because if this is a daily commute, you want to factor in how far are you willing to drive. Certainly we have a rush hour, in the morning and in the afternoon. If you can build your schedule to not participate in rush hour, it's really smart. But yeah, it is a factor. And, it's gotten worse over the years, but I think it just depends on where you live. But yeah, expect rush hour in the AM for a couple hours. In the afternoon, 3, 4, 5 o'clock for a couple hours, all around downtown Nashville can kind of become a jam a little bit. Not as bad as probably in LA or some other big cities. We're not to that, or Atlanta even, but it's a factor. Tucker, let's talk about our next reason to not move to Nashville, and that is a lack of professional sports teams. Talk to me about that.
Sure, Clay. So obviously we have the Tennessee Titans when it comes to football, and we have the Nashville Predators for hockey, and the city supports both. There's a lot of people that would love us to have a baseball team or a basketball team. Great news with basketball is we have Ja Morant just down the street in Memphis. So you're not too far away from basketball. And then on the other piece, when it comes to baseball, I know Don Mattingly is heading that up for the city of Nashville. That's something that's on the horizon. I don't know if it's 2 years away or 10 years away, but there is the conversation. And so we'll see how that progresses. But when you do come to Nashville, you've got to check out Geodis Park. It's right there in Wedgwood, Houston. It's the largest soccer stadium in the country. It's very well thought out, and the people that go there are just blown away. They really did a wonderful job.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. It's a really awesome stadium, very well thought out. You just are comfortable. It's easy to get in and out of there. It's just a very comfortable stadium. And like you said, there's some exciting news on the front, possibly in that pro baseball world. My son has become a big Ja Morant fan, so we've kind of adopted Memphis as our, basketball team of choice. And I think it's interesting. We were talking the other day, Tucker, and for the Titans games, you said there's people that come from Memphis, which is in West Tennessee, that come to those Titans games. How far a drive is that, do you think?
Great question. It's a solid 3-hour drive. But that's how far the fan base for the Titans runs. There's a lot of people that come in from Kentucky, which is pretty neat. And I know one of my kids plays travel soccer, and we've talked about grabbing a group of the boys and just head to Memphis just to go see Ja Morant. I think we're lucky to have him, and go see the Grizzlies and see how they perform.
Yep, that's exactly right. That takes us into our next reason not to move to Nashville, and it is because we're landlocked. We touched on it earlier. There are some lakes within driving distance. We're not getting to a beach. It's a 6 to 7 hours to get to a beach, which is not terrible. I mean, it really depends on. Some people drive a lot farther than that to get to the beach, but we are very, people in Middle Tennessee are shooting straight south to the Panhandle usually to get to the beaches. And truthfully, Destin and all that 30A area, there's world-class white sand beaches all down there. It's an awesome destination. It's kind of where everybody pretty much from around here goes, but we are landlocked. So we do have the Cumberland River, which runs right through downtown Nashville, and people actually take boats out on it, and it's navigable. And there's a couple lakes, pretty close by as well. But if you're used to surfing and that kind of thing, a coastal region, then we really don't have that. Although I will say there's an exciting brand new development that got announced about an hour west of Nashville, and it's going to be a surfing lagoon neighborhood. I think golf, surfing, a few other options for activities, equestrian, I think. Super excited about that. I think it's going to be a high-end deal. It's not going to be real easy to get into, but they may be bringing surfing to Middle Tennessee, which as a person who likes surfing, I think is going to be incredible.
Very much so. And then also you do have in Opry Mills at the Opryland Hotel, they do have Soundways, which is really an indoor water park. There's a lazy lagoon. And so there are some options. And then there's a lot of people that do like that getaway weekend to Destin, Panama City. Southwest has a direct flight, usually pretty inexpensive. You know, you're not even in the air an hour, but makes it very convenient. And also just getting there, I-65, you just drop south, plenty of Starbucks and Chick-fil-A all the way there.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and you touched on Soundwaves, which one of my happy places. I freaking love it. They got the Flow Rider or the indoor surfing thing. It is an absolute blast. We used to travel down. My brother and I used to be really into that, and we would fly down to like Tampa, Florida, to find this Flow Rider. They built one in Nashville, so one of my favorite places to go. So you're right. We do have some surfing in Nashville actually right now. All right. That takes me into our next reason not to move to Nashville, and this is more personal for me. We're trailing behind other cities when it comes to pickleball. So you probably are familiar with pickleball. It's growing like crazy. It's super fun, and there are a ton of people in Nashville that are playing, but we're still behind some of these other cities with facilities. They are putting outdoor courts pretty much everywhere, but we've had customers who've come in, considered moving to Nashville, and we had one last month that, hey, I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and move down to Florida. There's just not enough pickleball. It's becoming one of those things that, and if you play, you understand maybe like it can become a deal breaker depending on how into it you get. So a little bit random maybe, I know, but certainly true that we're still trailing behind other cities when it comes to pickleball. Tucker, final thoughts?
Sure. There's some wonderful neighborhoods that do have that, and they're all full. So there are options out there. Just wish there were a few more.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's really our list of reasons not to move to Nashville. If you hadn't noticed, it's kind of a short list, right? We were joking about this saying, gosh, we have it pretty good here. If we can't even build like a huge list of reasons not to move here. So it's still a pretty small list. And so be sure to check out our other video about reasons to move to Nashville. It's a longer list. So certainly appreciate you watching. If you got any value or were interested in this at all, please give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you're interested in following along with us as we explore Middle Tennessee. With that, talk to you soon, and we hope to show you around town.